Hello and welcome to the long-awaited second series of LEGO Wars. Since the last war, the robots have been rebuilt, redesigned and refined to bring one of the toughest fields in LEGO combat history. Before we can begin with the new heat format and arena hazard this series has to offer, we have 8 qualifying rounds to decide the final positions for the main series. So without further ado, let's see our prospective qualifiers.
First, from Manchester, AGGRO.
Charging onto the scene is AGGRO armed with a potent axe to cleave through the field.
From Stowmarket, CASSIUS.
The legendary CASSIUS joins us with its signature flipping arm to toss over the opposition.
From the North Pole, Darth Santa's Wild Ride.
The first robot to have car steering, Darth Santa has a pair of punching fists and a suspicious box in the trailer to surprise the opposition.
From Dublin, DIOTOIR.
The polka dot DIOTOIR returns to the arena hoping for more luck from its strengthened bucket scoop.
From Bristol, DONCON.
By some way the heaviest competitor this series, DONCON will hope to whip up a storm with its unusual hair flail.
From Carlisle, FLASHOVER.
A new machine to the series, FLASHOVER has a pair of dangerous looking discs to rip through the qualifiers.
From California in the USA, Frenzy.
The yellow hammer bot is back again and aiming for redemption after finally fixing its electrical gremlins.
From Turin in Italy, MASTIFF.
The Italian stallions go into their second qualifying match hoping for better from its flipping arm.
From MEGALOVANIA.
The terrifying Megalovania charges into the arena with its patented bone bar spinner to smash up the competition.
From Edinburgh, Mr. Waffle.
Another new spinner to the series is Mr. Waffle armed with a familiar looking bacon bar to beat up the opposition.
From New Hampshire in the USA, P1.
Racing into the field is P1 with its front hinge flipper to thrust itself into pole position.
From Illinois in the USA, Rusty.
Patched up after its infamous fight from the International Special, Rusty once again has its sledgehammer to smash up the competition.
From California in the USA, Scorpios.
After an unconvincing performance in the International Special, Scorpios will be hoping for more reliability from that unique hammer saw weapon.
From Lisbon in Northern Ireland, Wickmead.
The flipping Wickmead is back for another qualifier hoping to give a good heave-ho to the competition.
From Northampton, Whitehole.
Our resident full-body spinner returns to the arena with a new beefed-up shell and internals to prevent another undressing.
From Brighton, 2 GEOFF, 2 Fabulous.
Last but by no means least is the rainbow-powered GEOFF back again with an improved chain and internals to finally dish out the damage. Here's how they'll line up for the qualifiers. First we have the rattling Rusty taking on the chaos that is Darth Santa's Wild Ride, then it's 2 GEOFF 2 Fabulous against the ferocious hammer of Frenzy. Fight 3 will have the dual discs of FLASHOVER take on the monstrous full-body spinner White Hole, and following on from that is the hammer saw of Scorpios against the unblinking eyes of Mr. Waffle. Fight 5 has the pride of Italy in MASTIFF against the pole position machine P1. After that it's the speedy looking AGGRO taking on the sturdy DIOTOIR. The penultimate fight of the qualifiers sees Wickmead and CASSIUS go flipper on flipper, and finally the scary looking verse of Megalovania will face the flailing DONCON. For the first time this series, we pass across to our commentator Anderson and let the fighting begin.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So here we are with our first qualifier, Rusty versus Darth Santa's Wild Ride. Darth Santa's Wild Ride off for a pretty poor start, really. Santa didn't last very long in his wild ride, did he? Rusty bringing the hammer down and caving in the rear now. Is Darth Santa's Wild Ride okay here? I don't think so! They've just... There's little penguins everywhere as Rusty just smashing them to pieces. I don't think Darth Santa's Wild Ride can turn here. They seem to be going backwards and forwards and that's about it. Rusty completely destroying the back of Darth Santa's Wild Ride. We haven't seen anything of those punching fists of theirs yet. Rusty, of course, infamously got, well, destroyed beyond all recognition by Hijinks. in the recent International League Special. Looks like they've definitely made some serious repairs to it. Darth Santa's Wild Ride is done for here, I think. They're getting closer and closer towards the pit, and it's only a matter of time until Rusty sends them down and out. There you go. Oh, well. It was a good laugh and good fun.
Cease.
But Rusty are the winners and qualify for the main series. Well, Darth Santa's Wild Ride didn't really get going. Just kept driving backwards and forwards, had control problems throughout. Rusty using the hammer to good effect, smashing apart that back compartment and sending baby penguins flying. Oh dear. I really shouldn't laugh about that. Peter will be on to us. Down the pit went Darth Santa's Wild Ride, and Rusty qualify.
As we sweep up the penguins from the arena, we move on to our second fight of the night between Frenzy and 2Jeff 2 Fabulous.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
This does have the makings of a good battle. Two very good machines with dangerous weapons. Frenzy with that big hammer, don't forget. Although it did completely miss on that assault. And again, they haven't got very good aim with that. Oh, and some damage done there to the side of Frenzy by 2Jeff 2 Fabulous. That's a horrible name to pronounce. Why do they name it that? Are they having me on or something? Was it a bet? Probably a bet against me, to be fair. More damage, though, done to Frenzy. The bar spinner definitely doing more of the work at the moment. Though that was a good hit there by Frenzy onto the back of 2Jeff 2 Fabulous. Some serious damage done there. Look, the top panel caved in. Back pieces come flying off. Oh, but Frenzy completely split down the middle. Did you see that? That is horrendous damage. I think that 2Jeff 2 Fabulous is definitely landing the more hits at the moment. The hammer of Frenzy really is not connecting as well as they would want it to in this fight. 2Jeff 2 Fabulous, meanwhile, getting more and more hits in. There's definitely more damage to Frenzy. Goodness me. Lots of damage though. If this was to go to the judges, I would say that 2Jeff 2 Fabulous is just on top. So Frenzy do really need to bring this one back. But look, they've got very little control over that weapon of theirs. They've hit the arena floor more times than they've hit their opponent. Meanwhile, the bar spinner of Fabulous Jeff having no problems hitting Frenzy, but that was a good attack there by Frenzy onto 2Jeff 2 Fabulous. That is such a horrible name. Seriously, why did they name it that? Why? Anyway, I'm over it. I'm over it. 2Jeff 2 Fabulous, obviously sporting the coat of Joseph in this series, by the way. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke. Down comes the hammer of Frenzy once again, trying to cause some serious damage. I think the outer shell has come loose from the rest of Frenzy. It seems to be bouncing and bobbling her up and down. And that is serious damage. That was terrible control there by 2Jeff 2 Furious. What was that? They drove straight into the sidewall. What did they do that for? Frenzy taking more punishment, but it's still going. So fair play to them for that. They have survived the major damage so far. And was it me or is that spinner on 2Jeff 2 Fabulous spinning a little bit slow now? It's almost as if Frenzy's wearing them down slowly. And surely, oh, that was a good shot there, right onto the exposed innards there, because the top panel has been completely disintegrated on top of 2Jeff 2 Fabulous. That was a terrible hit. That was a little bit better. More damage under the side there now. Frenzy coming back strongly towards the end of this battle. I'm just wondering if 2Jeff 2 Fabulous has done a little bit too much damage. That was another good shot from them there. And again, trying to bring that spinner in, but that was a good hit there by Frenzy. This really is a good tussle. Well, I thought it might be, didn't I, at the beginning of this fight, and it really has proven to be a really good, hard-hitting battle between two very different but very effective weapons. Is Frenzy okay? They seem to stop moving on one side there. No, they're okay now. They must have got stuck on a little bit of rubble or something in the arena. 2Jeff 2 Fabulous not looking so fabulous now at the end. And we're in the final 10 seconds. This is going to go to the judges. It was a really good fight overall. And they're going to have a difficult time here with Frenzy finishing the stronger of these two for me. That was a very, very good, close, hard-fought battle. Look at the pieces littering the arena. So 2Jeff 2 Fabulous definitely sided the better of the two in my opinion, causing horrendous damage to Frenzy early on. But Frenzy did manage to come back throughout the fight, and eventually, after a while, those big hits from the hammer started taking more and more effect. But I'm just wondering if the damage done to them by 2Jeff 2 Fabulous was enough to win this one. Frenzy clearly having mobility issues towards the end of the battle, although this good power surge here could be enough to sway the judges. I honestly have no idea.
And the winner by unanimous decision is 2 Jeff, 2 Fabulous. After that exciting scrap, we move on to our next fight between the Shell Spinner White Hole and the dual discs of Flashover.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So a battle of 2 big spinners here. We've got Flashover there, the new boys, versus White Hole. Now White Hole, renowned for losing its shell in the last series of LEGO Wars, so it'll be nice to see if they've come back improved. Oh goodness me, from the evidence of that, yes they have. Look at the damage under the front of Flashover, named after the sudden gust of air that causes fire to spread rapidly. Well, damage has spread rapidly around that robot. Look at that, and the weapon is now unbalanced and it is bouncing around like a rodeo bull out there. White Hole have definitely made improvements since the last time around we saw them. Oh dear, oh dear. The blade the blade of Flashover has been completely disintegrated. And White Hole, you know, we didn't get to see as much of them in the last wars as we hoped. They lost their shell early on, like I said, but I tell you, this is a much more improved machine. Look at the speed of it. Listen to the sound of it revving up as it prepares to charge and go and do more damage. Look there, the entire weapon taken off of Flashover, and they looked good. I honestly had them as a little bit of a dark horse to go far, but they've completely been disintegrated here. Oh my goodness me. White Hole are back, bigger, better, and badder than ever before. I don't think there's any doubt who's going to win this qualifier unless something really drastic happens in the next 10 seconds. I don't think it's going to, is it? Let's be honest. But this is a robot to really be frightened about in this series of LEGO Wars. Just look at the damage it's causing. Look at it. There's nothing left of Flashover. I am in awe. Oh my goodness me. I am in shock and awe. Unironically, of course. Look at the damage there. I mean, there's nothing left of it. I've seen planes come down with looking better than that. They're being counted down and out now. Oh, what a shame for Flashover. It looks so good. So much hard work went into it. Oh, dear. But White Hole with just a tremendous performance there. This is one scary looking robot. Watch out for this one. Look at the damage caused.
Cease.
Deary me. That's terrifying. Oh, I feel so bad for poor Flashover. Newcomers, they came in with a scary looking machine, but it got absolutely torn to pieces. Look there at the damage caused to the spinner, and again, just absolutely being ripped off. And after that, the wheels went, the side panels, the back panels. There was nothing left of Flashover by the end of it. And White Hole, you know, this could go very far, this series. Watch out for these guys.
After that spectacularly destructive display, we move on to Fight 4 of the night between the hammer-soaring Scorpios and the overhead spinner Mr. Waffle.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So Scorpios would be the favourite of these guys because of their experience in Battle Boss, but don't count Mr. Waffle out. They came with Bergie in the last series. I'm sure you'll remember that one. Goodness me! Scorpios, though, causing damage straight away to Mr. Waffle. Can they give them a good waffling, or are they going to be busy waffling? Oh, face has just been caved in. Oh, dear. Well, laugh as you will at Mr. Waffle. They're great fun. Oh, goodness me! They've just caused some damage to Scorpios. Do my eyes deceive me? Have they done some damage on LEGO Wars? Well, I never. Goodness me, down comes the overhead spinner, as it's correctly called, of Scorpios, causing lots of damage to Mr. Waffle. Or is Scorpios okay? Yeah, they're okay. They seem to be jittering around there for a moment. More damage done, though, by Mr. Waffle's top spinning bacon bar thing. Try saying that 3 times fast after a few stellars. Oh! The Scorpios are just completely de-shelled the top now of Mr. Waffle. They're great fun, they're great sports, they enter very fun, entertaining robots. Ooh, what's going on here? Has the siren went, but the pit didn't drop. I'm just wondering if there's a problem with the arena here. Interesting. And now I think both robots are stuck together. Can they release each other? Oh, they nearly got away, but I think they're a little bit too stuck. And I think we might be calling for an unstick any second now. If they can't free themselves. They seem to be stuck. The pit is now dropped open with Scorpius' wheel over it. Now, bit of controversy here. Not sure what's going on. This is a bit tricky to kind of understand. I'm guessing the fight's continuing. There's been no call of cease, no ask for a restart, despite the two robots being stuck together. Mr. Waffle cannot take advantage of the situation. Scorpion's able to get itself away from the pit now. Both robots still caught on one another, and I'm genuinely wondering what's going on here. I'm a little bit worried. Oh! Now Mr. Waffle all of a sudden near the pit of oblivion! And on the verge of going down and just getting away. Goodness me, that was... Whew, that was close. More damage being done to them by Scorpios. Now finally they're free! But is Mr. Waffle okay? They are not moving. They seem to be stuck in place. And I think Scorpios have managed to take this one. Oh goodness me, the two spinners connecting. And Mr. Waffle being driven by Scorpios towards the pit of oblivion. Will they go down into the pit? Look at the damage under Scorpios. So down go Mr. Waffle. But Scorpios will have to make repairs for the championships. Well, that was a bit of a controversial fight, that one. It started off well with both robots causing damage to one another, especially Scorpios there, taking off the face. But Mr. Waffle then giving a huge hit there to Scorpios. And again, later on, taking off more pieces from the back of the robot. This is where things started to get a bit tricky. Mr. Waffle's stuck on the top of the front wedge of Scorpios. Nearly went down the pit there. Both robots were stuck there for a very long time. But then this blow here seemed to kill Mr. Waffle. And then it was sent to the pit.
With half of the qualifiers confirmed for Series 2, we move on to our next battle between Mastiff and P1.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So it's Massive Mastiff versus Charlie from Good Robotle's Dream of Pleasure. That's the most PG way I can say that. Both robots off to a tentative start here. Neither robot really doing much of an attack until then when P1 flips Mastiff onto its rear end, and we know for a fact that they struggle to get back from there from previous performances of theirs. P1 now slamming Mastiff against the side. Well, I say slamming, it was more nudging it really. These aren't the speeds we're used to from P1, it must be said. Then again, this is the Lego version, so I guess, you know, it's all swings and roundabouts. The pit button pressed now by Mastiff, so they must be confident they can get P1 down the pit, although I'm not too sure how they expect to when they're currently, the wrong way up. Oh, nearly managed to right themselves there, though. And a good attack here by Mastiff, pinning P1 against the arena sidewall. Charlie Hubbard is currently screaming in agony. Now, neither robot really getting any more offensive. Now, finally, Mastiff have been righted. Can they get that flipper into play? You just saw there the Italian flag, the pride of Italy, apparently. Can they get underneath? Oh, they tried there, but they were a little bit too slow on the button. At that time, they tried flipping while they weren't underneath. That was bad control. That will go against them if it goes to the judges. And being honest, I think it will go to the judges at this rate. It's a very tentative battle between these two. Oh, goodness me. Mastiff nearly got under P1 there to flip them. And again, failing. I'm just wondering, you know, if they're missing or if they actually can't get them up with that flipper. It's not the most strongest of moves. Look, you can see there that they tried to flip P1, but failed. That is not a strong flipper on that machine, I'm afraid. P1, meanwhile, is doing nothing. And it's, if anything, slowing to a crawl. And Mastiff, with a good push back there on P1 towards the side wall, If they can get another good push in like that, they might have P1 down the pit. P1 very close to the pit there. Mastiff underneath. But P1 pushing back now. Oh, Mastiff, what are they doing? Oh, they were on top of that fight and they drove themselves towards the pit and P1 shoved them in. Oh, dear. Well, P1 definitely started the strongest for me with that initial box rush, but Mastiff with a good push back straight away. Mastiff then, of course, inevitably got toppled over by P1. That was it, really, for P1's offense. The rest of it was all Mastiff for me. Managing to release the pit, getting underneath P1 and slamming them into the sidewalls on several occasions, especially after they got righted. Several good attacks from Mastiff, including this one. I thought they had it there, really, and then they went and threw themselves down the pit.
Now we have the newcomers AGGRO WOBBA take on the Polka Dot DIOTOIR.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So a real face-off here, get it? Because both robots have faces. Good shot there by AGGRO WOBBA. I sound a bit like Jonathan Ross when I pronounced that robot's name. The hammer didn't really do much damage though on that attack to DIOTOIR. There's a little bit better though, managing to knock a piece flying. And again, knocking off one of the eyebrows. Oh, and one of the eyes. So DIOTOIR has now become a Cyclops again. Seems to be its favourite pastime, along with catching fire and being rubbish in the LEGO Wars arena. Now, though, getting that bucket scoop underneath AGGRO WOBBA and pushing it back against the side wall. Off comes the other eye now, so it's completely blind. I wonder if they're going to throw themselves down the pit because of that. AGGRO WOBBA, well, for a minute I thought they were going to go for the pit release button, actually, but no, they came back, hit them with that hammer. It's not the quickest of hammers, but it's quite heavy on the head. And that's what causes the main damage, really. Good push there by DIOTOIR, slamming it against him in the side wall, getting that, well, motor-powered bucket scoop underneath. Not really to much effect, though, and they had to let it go after a while. That would have been a more effective attack if the pit was open, if I'm honest. Now both robots seem to be locked together here. Can they get away? Can they unstick from one another? They seem to be stuck. Oh, wait, no, they're okay. AGGRO WOBBA able to get away there. A piece of armor pulled away from DIOTOIR. DIOTOIR's bucket is very high there, actually, and now trying to use it almost like a grabbing arm. Didn't quite work, though. AGGRO WOBBA, are they okay? They don't seem to be moving as fluidly as they were earlier. Down goes the pit, courtesy of DIOTOIR. And a well-timed push and shove here could have AGGRO WOBBA down the pit because they're barely moving. DIOTOIR, who have been absolutely pummeled in this fight, if you ask me, are now all of a sudden on top. Or they have the chance to be anyway, because AGGRO WOBBA is barely moving. It's sort of twitching, jittering backwards and forwards, but it's all over, I think, for AGGRO WOBBA's hopes and dreams. No, they're okay. Oh, there was a sudden burst there, and they're okay now. Oh, for a minute there, I'm wondering if they were immobile for a bit too long there, not too sure. The judges don't seem to think so. They're allowing the fight to continue. But AGGRO WOBBA is really struggling here, and all this time they are losing points and DIOTOIR are gaining them. DIOTOIR still not able to get that scoop into an effective position, really. But if they can get a good run up here, they could definitely have AGGRO WOBBA down the pit. They've got the pushing power to do so. AGGRO WOBBA, that's the most they've moved in the last minute, I would say. And let's be honest, it was barely a crawl backwards. Oh, what are DIOTOIR doing? Goodness me, they nearly threw themselves down the pit there. What on earth are they doing? Oh, they just get away. That would have been a horrendous end to their campaign in this qualifier. AGGRO WOBBA, meanwhile... oh, there we go! They've just had a sudden burst of energy again, but they just seem to not really be able to do much with it. And I'm wondering if this will be enough to sway it towards the judges for DIOTOIR! Oh, what a comeback this is! AGGRO WOBBA out of nowhere, get DIOTOIR in the pit! Oh my goodness! I don't really know what to make of that, to be honest. AGGRO WOBBA definitely started the stronger with the big hammer, doing all sorts of damage to DIOTOIR, knocking off eyebrows and eyes and side plates and all sorts of other parts. But then the hammer started slowing down there, as did their battery life, you see, because from this point forward it was all DIOTOIR. AGGRO WOBBA barely mobile, barely moving. But then, out of nowhere, managed to get that surprise surge push and shove DIOTOIR down the pit. That's a huge surprise.
As the limping AGGRO WOBBA can sigh in relief, we'll move on to our next fight of the night, where we have a flipping frenzy between CASSIUS and Wigmead. Hi, Editor David here. So, slight issue, the footage for this fight was unfortunately lost due to some files corrupting. Fortunately though, we have some highly skilled artists who have animated the fight for us, so let's cut to the footage.
So, Lego Wars meets Art Attack, both robots jittering towards each other, Wigmead trying to get his flipper underneath Cassius and failing miserably. Both David and Jevon's faces managed to get onto shot there, Cassius managed to get underneath Wigmead now and, well, doing nothing apparently, jittering around some more. Wigmead's flipper went up for no reason whatsoever. Cassius managed to get Wigmead though onto its rear end. That's an effective flip. Now Cassius going for the pit release button very, 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 very slowly. Finally hit it, I think. Has it hit it? Yes, the pit has been activated. Down it goes. And Wigmead slowly driving towards the pit. What on earth are they doing? Oh no!
After that slightly bizarre cutaway, we move on to the final qualifier between the monstrous Megalovania and the unwieldy DONCON.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So, the 8th and final qualifier, Megalovania versus DONCON. What is with these weird robot names and what on earth? Oh, I absolutely love that. The spinning hair on DONCON is absolutely fantastic. Well, it was fantastic, and now it's been scalped by Megalovania, which is that very, very scary vertical spinning bar. Both these robots now seem to be stuck together. And I think it's only going to be a matter of time until an unstick is called for here, because there's no way these two are getting separated, is there? Or is there? Yes, they are. They're okay. Hitting the pit button. Oh, I'll tell you what, the designs for Lego Wars so far have been brilliant, haven't they? Absolutely fantastic. Some really memorable and fun machines. And DONCON, to be fair, withstanding the hits from the bar spinner of Megalovania, apart from the earlier assault which caused them to lose their weapon. It's definitely a sturdy machine. Not so sure if it's effective in the arena, mind, but it's a very sturdy robot nonetheless. Megalovania, meanwhile, is having more damage done to itself. Bits of the spinner going flying. Oh! But the nose! Oh! Oh dear. The nose and cheekbone of DONCON being stoved in. Well, it was sturdy up to a point, but obviously a machine can only take so many hits. Oh, that happens. Oh dear, the eyes, the forehead. Well, just about all of it's gone now, really. Oh, it's still going though. Oh, this is what Lego Wars is all about. Hilarity, destruction, great fun, interesting designs. Oh dear. DONCON, I think, are about to throw themselves down the pit. Nope, they want more apparently. Why not? I think they're trying to draw them on actually. I don't think they're going to fall for it, boys. Well, you've got to admire the work that's gone into DONCON. It is a very entertaining, very fun, very cool looking robot, but they went out against a very, very good Megalovania here. Goodness me. One last shot before the pit. And Megalovania, very scary, very deadly, and could definitely be one to watch out for in this series. That was absolute chaos from the word go, really. The spinning hair of DONCON sent flying, thanks to Megalovania. Then the nose came off and the face got absolutely stoved in as well. Then the eyes and forehead went flying before taking more damage there, look, as well. Oh, and why not a little bit more and all? Megalovania, though, absolutely fantastic build, fantastic weapon. Very destructive, and through to the main championship.
And with that destructive display, the 32-strong field is set. We've had some brilliant fights and seen the sheer destruction from the new crop of competitors, and look forward to what they can produce in the coming series. So make sure to tune in next week for Heat A. Until then, I've been your host, David of Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.